Hi, everyone. A very good evening to one and all. My name is Steffi, and I'm a part of marketing team at Pluxee. I have Ifsha on the other end, who is a clinical nutritionist, a super expert for us here today, who will let us know the kind of nutrition we would like to have this year. I'm sure many would have worked around a lot of diet. In fact, I myself have worked around a lot of diet, to be honest, Ifsha, but I have never got through where it has to be. So I'm sure this session would be insightful for all of us. There are certain myths. There is something known as 80-20 rule, which Ifsha will be deep diving and letting you out the information which is real, which I'm sure many go on YouTube or today nowadays even chat gpt is your personal dietitians, right? So I'm sure, Ifsha, I won't take much time. Probably you can walk us through the right diet, the right method we need to follow so that we all of us can lose some weight this year. Thank you. Over to
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much, Steffi, for the wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. As Steffi said, my name is Ifsha Qureshi, and my brand name is NutriEuphoria. I've been practicing nutrition and dietetics for the past 10 years. And over the years, what I realized that it is very true that people tend to get on a diet and get off it even faster. They don't get the results that they desire. And today I'm here to tell you why exactly that happens and what exactly can you do so that you do not repeat the same mistakes you did in the earlier years, and what will work in 2026. So as I said, this is Ifsha, founder of NutriEuphoria. I'm an MSc in dietetics, a diabetes educator, nutrigenomic counselor, and a sports nutritionist. Now let's get on to the before starting off the session. I need to gauge some of the insights or some of the information that this audience already has. So I'm going to start a poll, and I would love everybody to just take that poll. The very first question is: low carb diets work for everyone? So, okay, let's see. Okay. So, wow, the count is still running, but what I can see is that most 31 of y'all have voted for true, and 76 right now, as of now, have voted for false, and which is completely true. I mean, false is the right answer, that low carbs diet work for everyone. That's false, because carbs are being treated as the enemy these days, that you should go low carb if you want to get in shape, or if you're a diabetic, etc., etc. However, carbs are very, very important for us. They are, as Indians, are staple, and using the correct types of carbs is very, very important. Let's go back and look at the other question that we have here. How would you rate your sorry, yeah. Mm, okay, so skipping meals helps you lose weight faster. Okay, so the count is still running, and we have right now 16 people who say that yes, skipping meals will help them lose their weight faster, and about 112 people who say that no, that's not the case. And the count is still running. Okay, now we have 17 more people who are saying that yes, skipping meals will help them lose weight faster. Well, That is completely false. When you skip meals, you are not giving the correct nutrition to the body that your body deserves, and the body thinks that, oh my god, this is a starvation mode and I am going to fight this by reserving all the stores that I have. And that is why you see a weight plateau even on a weight loss journey, even if you've had weight loss earlier, because you continue on calorie deficit and do not give yourself the correct nutrition it needs. So, yes, this is also false. Now, the next question is, healthy food cannot cause weight gain. Okay. Yes. So, 26 of y'all, now 30 are saying that yes, healthy food can, cannot cause weight gain. Well, that is also false. And the reason for it is portions matter. So, for example, nuts are healthy. We all agree, right? But there is a certain quantity of nuts that you need to have, because at the end, they are really calorie dense. And if you're going to have fistful of nuts for two snacks in a day, you're actually not in a calorie deficit. You're actually consuming more calories from that healthy food, and that is why you will tend to gain weight rather than losing that weight. So healthy foods can also lead to weight gain if you're not doing the correct portion control. I must say this is a fairly well aware audience, because y'all are giving pretty much the right answers. And for those who had certain, misconceptions, I hope I'm clearing it on the way. Which has more sugar, chocolate bar or a flavored yogurt? Let's see. This is a tricky one. I'm assuming that what is the option that most of us are going to select. So it's absolutely correct that the chocolate bar and also the flavored yogurt are full of sugars these days, because the chocolate or the cocoa content in chocolate is also very minimal, and major of it is milk solids and sugars. But however, when we come to flavored yogurts, sometimes you should actually look at the label when you're going to a departmental store. You will be astonished to see the added sugar content in that flavored yogurt, and this is separate of the natural sugar that the fruit would have. So which clearly indicates that they are using flavored fruits rather than just sugar syrups. So you will actually now next time look at the label and then make a better informed choice. So flavored yogurt is full of sugar. So another one, brown sugar is healthier than white sugar. It's a myth or a fact? Okay. So what I can see is that many of you all say that it's a myth. Uh, so what is brown sugar? Brown sugar is just basically processed sugar, which is taken out just a step before its final processing. So the caloric intake or the side effects that a normal sugar would have, same would be that of the brown sugar. They claim there are trace amounts of minerals maybe still left in that from the sugarcane processing, but I think that is so negligible that we can say that both of them are at par. And yes, it's a myth that brown sugar is healthier than your normal white sugar. Okay, so again, what has more sugar, packaged fruit juice or a cola? Okay, so we have 51% right now for the cola and 48% of the packet fruit juice. So of course, you would be aware, right? The packaged fruit juice is also having added sugar apart from the natural sugar from the fruit it is derived from. However, cola is loaded with sugar. It is the most highest concentration of sugar that can be present in the beverage, and therefore cola is the highest source, I would say. Okay, so another one. Eating after 8 p.m. causes weight gain. Okay, now this is such a tricky one, but I'll tell you one thing, that eating after 8 p.m. will not lead to weight gain if you are balancing your intake of the food. You are spacing it from your bedtime. Because, see, let's be real, there are some professions that a person would not, you know, be able to eat before before 8 p.m. or at 8 p.m. So in those conditions, it's not necessary that if you eat after 8 p.m. you're going to gain weight. It's just the correct rules that you have to follow, which we're going to know in the subsequent slides today. So now let's see, which has more sugar, granola bar or gulab jamun? I think this was a no-brainer. Gulab jamun has more sugar because it's dipped in sugar syrup. However, you should be cautious and also read the labels for granola bars. That is because many of the granola bars these days are loaded, and they are loaded with sugar syrups. They are dipped in sugar syrups. There is date syrup inside it, or sugar substitutes which are actually more sweet than your normal sugar. So granola bars are also to be had with a uh, you know uh, cautious effort, and not just blindly because it's a granola bar you can eat. Always read your labels. So eating fats make you fat, is it? Okay. 84% say that it's a myth, which is correct because, as I said, the portions matter, the quality of fat matters, how you're balancing it with other nutrients like carbs and proteins matter. So, yes, it is a fact that if you eat fat, it is going to make you fat. But, however, if you are not portion controlling the fat that you're eating, it might let make you fat. Okay. So yeah, so by this I just gauged what is the awareness of this audience, and I must comment y'all that it is very nice, and y'all are pretty much in sync with whatever the myths and facts are, and you're an aware audience. However, let's go through this presentation and understand how you can take better charge of your health with all the knowledge that you have. Okay. So, why most diet fail? What is the reason? Because it is too restrictive and it is unrealistic. For example, you're a North Indian and you come or you follow a diet plan which is given to you, or you find it out of Google, and it is meant to be for an American or for a European, wherein you're having your salads, you're having your soups, you're having your steaks, etc. But you're a person who's grown up eating like chapati, rice, dal. There has to be a vegetarian meal, or if you're a non-veg, there has to be something in non-veg. So of course it is so restrictive and unrealistic from what you're doing that you will not be able to follow it. So that is why most diets fail. The first reason. Second is it is focused on short term results and not long term results. So, for example, you have a wedding in the house and you are like, I want to lose 5 kgs. I just have 3 months in hand, and I am going to do everything. I'm going to do only liquid diet. I'm going to do only one meal a day diet, and all of this. So it is a very short term result that you're seeking of losing 5 kgs. But that 5 kgs, is it fat? Is it body water? Is it muscles? What is it? Even if you're losing 5 kgs in the form of muscles, you're not going to have enough energy, or your body is not going to look in enough shape for the desired function that you are looking forward to. So the problem lies with your goal setting as well, that why do you want this to happen? Is it short term, is it long term? And if is it short term, you're ready to compromise the major aspects of your health to attain that short term goal, then you might achieve that goal, but in the long run there is going to be a rebound weight which you are going to take even in a 10 times efforts to lose that. So your goal setting is also very important. One size fits all approach, that means there is a basic diet plan available over the internet and you want to follow that. It is a one meal diet, for example. These days it's so much in trend, okay, omad, one meal a day diet. And you're someone who is commuting, say, from Andheri to Churchgate every day for your work. So you're burning so many calories commuting, you're burning so many calories doing an 8-hour shift. And also there is, these days everybody has some form of mental pressure and stress, etc. So all of these factors are not taking into consideration, and we are just following that one meal a day diet, whereas our body is craving the nutrients and we're not giving them. And that is the reason, even if we're starving ourselves to lose that extra belly fat, we're not going anywhere. That the reason is because we are fit, trying to follow something which somebody else is doing because it fits them, but it is not necessary that it will fit you. Depend on motivation and willpower. Now this is the most important aspect here that I'm going to talk about so much in my presentation, because we think that I want a particular shape, I want to be in a particular fitness level, etc. And I'm very motivated. January 1st week, January 2nd week, and January 3rd week, my graph is going like every year down. Why? Because I'm feeling, I am, that I am depending on my willpower and my motivation, and that for everyone goes down. It's a natural phenomena because we get busy in our lives, some family function arises, some family situation arises, your health is going down, etc., etc., and then your motivation and willpower will at some point fade away. But what never fades away is discipline, and that is what we are going to talk about, habit building. That never is going to fade away, and that is actually going to give you the results. No plan for life after the diet ends. Now, what we feel, that is why I have a problem with this word dieting. And I am so much in support of the word lifestyle modification, because dieting we usually associate with a short term goal, that I want to be this many kgs this year. I'm going to follow this for the entire year. I'll be very diligent, very motivated, and my willpower is going to be there, and I have achieved my goal. And what after that? You have to realize and come terms with your body that you were overweight or you had a health condition, for example diabetes, etc. That means your body was at that condition, your body's tendency is to be in that condition. So how can you expect that if you follow something for a year, you achieve your goal, and then you're just okay, fine? It's your same body, you have to treat it the same way it demands to get to that goal. So post achieving the goal, you also have to be on a maintenance plan, you also have to be on a lifestyle modification, so that you sustain it completely. And you're not going to have short term results, then you're going to have long term results then. Now, the real problem with diet culture is that it emphasizes on quick fixes and rapid weight loss, labeling food as good and bad. Like, in my myth busting session also, we saw, is fat bad? So we label fat as no, it's completely bad. Then sugar is bad. Of course, processed sugar is something we do not require, but sugar from fruits, it cannot be labeled bad. Also, some common food ingredients these days labeled bad are wheat, gluten is bad. You cannot label food as good or bad. You need to know the precise science. You need to know that not everybody can have one food labeled as bad for them throughout their life just because somebody else is allergic to that food. So you have to stop labeling food. Guilt and shame around eating. So many of my clients are on a plan, and then they say, oh, you know what, Ifsha, we went out and I'm really really sorry, I ate that scoop of ice cream. I'm like, why are you sorry for something that you enjoyed? You should always connect your connect with your food. Okay, and that is the reason your food, when you're on a diet plan, also has to be relatable to you as a person, to your likings, to your culture, everything. And if at all there are occasions, we are human beings, we are social animals, we socialize, and as Indians we socialize around food a lot. We have different food prepared for different, cultural gatherings, for marriages, for festivities. So we connect with food. So why do you want to build around a guilt and shame around eating? To the opposite, you build around habits and discipline around food. Now, then what are you going to eat? How much are you going to eat? How frequently are you going to indulge in it? And stop labeling food and feeling guilty about eating something. Restrict, crave, overeat, and then repeat. So that's the thing we do. If you think you're on my plan for 3 months, I'm not going to eat ice cream. I'm not going to eat ice cream. I'm not going to eat ice cream. And then for 1.5 months, you follow it. And then you have cravings all these 1.5 months. And you're like, no, I will not. I will not. I will not. And suddenly one day you'll get up and you're like, no, I'm going to eat that ice cream. So you're going to overeat it, and then you're going to feel guilty about it, and then you're going to repeat yourself with over restricting, and this vicious cycle goes on and on and on. Therefore, the emphasis is not on motivation and willpower. The emphasis is only on habits, discipline, and being in the correct mind frame and making the mindful choices. Weight regain is biological, not lack of discipline. As I told you, if you follow a plan, you reach a particular, goal weight. And if you're going to go bonkers after that and do whatever you wish to do, you're not really helping yourself. You're actually going back to that cycle, and you have to start from day one. Why motivation doesn't work, why I'm emphasizing that why motivation will not work for you, is because motivation is temporary and emotion based. So I am motivated because I'm in a good mind frame today. I had a very blissful morning. Everything went well at work. And I think now I can conquer the world. Fine, great. And the next morning, something happened. I had a spat with my husband. My boss gave me an assignment I really didn't want it at that hour. And duh, my motivation is gone. So your motivation is temporary and emotion based. Discipline fades under stress, travel, and busy schedules. As I said, we are humans. We have a life to live. We have responsibilities to fulfill. So if you're under stress, if you have an emergency, if you're traveling, if there is a wedding in the house, your discipline will, take a back seat, and you will tend to overindulge. And then again, you're going to feel guilty about it, and again, you're going to come back. So if you're restricting yourself, then even discipline will fade. Sustainable change comes from systems and habits. So you have to build some habits lifelong, some systems around you that make you fulfill those habits each day, every day. And that is what will take you towards your goal. And you will stay there because those habits are going to stay with you all your life. Eating well should feel automatic, not exhausting. So you have to eat right, and you have to feel, you don't have to feel exhausted about it. As I said, you have to connect with your food. You have to, enjoy your food, and make a plan that is so sustainable for you that it doesn't feel mundane. It doesn't feel, oh God, I'm exhausted following this plan. What will work in 2026? Personalization over perfection. That means that, okay, ideally you should be working out 6 days a week. Okay, but I have a job, or I am so busy at home or at work, that I don't think I can remove every day 1 hour in the day for 6 days of the week. Fine, customize this to your benefit. That means, what are the days that are fairly not that busy for you? What are the days you can put in more minutes of exercise? What are the days you might want to skip? What are the days you might do the exercise but not for that longer duration? So at least come to a midway, and do not fixate yourself that I should be working out 6 days a week or I will not work out at all. So let's see. I'm giving you some scenarios, and also I'm giving you a practical approach towards it, that how you can do it. So a dreamy scenario is, I shall join the gym once I start waking up early. So I don't have time throughout the day. I have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day so that I can reach the gym at 7 and come back home by 8. This is the perfect thing that, would allow me to indulge in workouts. Fine, that is not happening. You're not able to wake up early, you're having a tough time at job, you're not able to sleep early. Fine. The practical approach is remove 12 minutes every day for activity. Walk for 12 minutes, jog for 12 minutes, or just follow a YouTube link for 12 minutes of Tabata or resistance training or cardio or dance. Just remove those 12 minutes if that perfect scenario is not happening. Consistency over intensity. So what do we feel? That every day I have to wake up at least for 6 days a week and go to the gym every day. And if it will not happen, supposedly I start off, and day 4 I go to the gym, and day 5 I couldn't go to the gym. Fine, day 6 I didn't go, day 7 I didn't go, day 10 I didn't go, then one day again I say, oh come on, let's go to the gym, and day 12 I'm going straight after the fifth day, and I'm doing double triple the workout I'm supposed to do. And do you think, are you compensating for the days you didn't go? Well, no. So even if you intensify your workouts and you're not consistent for it most of the days of the week, it's not going to help you. So the dreamy scenario is, I will work out once a week and go all out with the training. That means whenever I'm going to the being able to go to the gym, I will give my 110%, and that whenever is happening only twice a week. Okay. But the practicality is that you have to show up most of the days for 12 minutes only. That will help you better rather than spending 1 hour twice a week in the gym. So if for 5 days you show up for 12 minutes is giving you better results than just showing up for 2 days for 1 hour. So you understand, you have to be consistent. You cannot only just intensify your workouts. Now, habits over hacks. Dreamy scenario, I shall not eat carbs for dinner. As if we are, seeing so much all across the social media, carbs are our enemy, and no carbs for dinner. And then I'm going to, reach wherever I have to. The practicality is, you can have carbohydrates in all your meals. It should be fairly calculated. Even in your dinner, you can enjoy your carbs. However, you have to balance it with the correct protein, with the correct kind of carbs. So cannot fixate on eliminating the carbs. You have to fixate on portion control. Flexible structure and no rigid rules. This is what is going to work in 2026, because the dreamy scenario says, I will stop going for social events as I'm on a plan. Your friend calls up, let's meet up for coffee. No, no, I'm on a plan, I'll not meet up. No, the practicality is, socialize, nourish and balance. You go for that coffee meet with your friend. You don't add, you do not have anything that is that has added sugar. You, because these days so many places are available where they have healthier options as well. You go for a sandwich that's made up of sourdough bread. You can insist that, okay fine, do not add extra cheese in my sandwich, do not add that butter. If you're, just going out and walking across the street, and you feel like, okay, your friend says let's have a sandwich, as Bombay sandwich is very famous for our Mumbai cuts. You can ask that person, please do not put that extra butter that you put. You can always enjoy that sandwich there as well. So you need to know the loopholes. You need to know what you can do instead of stopping yourself and restricting yourself too much. You need to know to strike a balance. Focus what you can repeat long term. So, as I said, as Indians, we carbs are our staple, and if we think that we are going to eliminate carb, how often are you going to find the substitutes? Is that sustainable for you? Like the dreamy scenario, you will say, I shall go completely gluten free, as gluten causes inflammation, because inflammation is the it word these days, and everybody thinks that gluten is causing inflammation. So I'll not have wheat. Practicality, how far are you going to arrange sourdough breads, quinoa, keto, almond, flour, chapatis for your meals? Who's going to prepare that for you? Are they going to be palatable for your taste buds? Because as an Indian, As an Indian, you've been grown eating chapatis. As an Unless and until you do not have a gluten sensitivity, unless and until you do not have a disease which is actually, an expert has told you, please keep away from gluten. Do not label food as bad, and do not go for things that are so extravagant from your daily routine that you're not able to follow it. So, as I was emphasizing on habits, 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 let me tell you how to make wellness habits stick. So, we start small and we start realistic. हम क्या सोचते हैं, नहीं भाई हमको तो 5 किलो कम करना है. We need to get down 5 kgs on the scale. Okay, so I am looking at 5 kgs, losing it in 3 months. That's still a longer goal. How much do you want to lose in this week? Let's bring it down to that, and let's work the entire week towards that. Break your goals. That is going to help you. So start small and realistic. Reducing, so we all know we do not require sugar, right? In our, it's empty calories. Nobody, even if you're a diabetic, non-diabetic, overweight, underweight, a kid, nobody needs sugar in their diet. However, sugar is very much added in all the foods that we are, consuming these days, whether it's made at home or we're buying it from outside. So what we're doing is we're consciously trying to eliminate sugar from our diet, but our taste buds have been wired for that sweetness. So we cannot completely eliminate it in one go. It will make things unpalatable and you might go back to having that. So what you do is reducing half teaspoon sugar every 2 days from your daily diet, from your daily intake. So for example, you have 4 teaspoons of sugar, like 2 teaspoons in your beverages and all of that. What you do is you reduce that 4 to 3.5 every alternate day. So every alternate day, you're reducing half teaspoon. And if alternate day doesn't work, every 3 days, every week, whatever is working for you, but at least start and stay at it. Adding one fruit in snacks. Many of us don't really get the time to eat the fruits. So we try and add one fruit in our snack routine. We carry one fruit in our tiffin and we carry it to work, and we add one fruit in the snack. Start by this habit. This will pretty much take care of your snack. That is one meal of your day. Adding 500 ml water to your daily intake. Many of us drink water lesser than what we require. However, if you're someone you're drinking 1 liter and you're straight away jumping to 3 liters, your body might not even tolerate that. The body might go in a shock that what is it happening. So start by adding half a liter every 2 days, every 3 days, or every day, whatever works for you. Start small and build up. It's like building blocks, like a child would play with. You have to build the habits to help you with your lifestyle. Build one habit at a time. Now for example, this sugar, this water, this fruit, etc., if you're going to do it all at once, you might feel, oh my god, so many things happening at a go. For 2 weeks, let's stick to the fruit in the snack. For for the third week, with the fruit we start with adding the water also. Then after a week, then we start with reducing the sugar also. So start, for example, what is doable. Taking 5 double breaths each night at bedtime. Double breaths are like you inhale once, you inhale twice, and exhale. These are double breaths. Double breaths help you de-stress your mind, declutter your mind, and also help you have a peaceful sleep. So today, when you go to the bed, look up for the double breath technique on YouTube and practice that each night when you go to bed. Because as living in a fast paced cities these days and work culture, we are really stressed out, even if we do not have major stresses in our life. But this total stress of getting up, going to work, doing this assignment, taking the kids to the park, or the kids examinations coming up, etc., all of these are also stresses that are cluttering your mind. So the double breaths actually help you in this. And believe me or not, with my 10 years of practice, I can vouch for it. If your mental decluttering is not in place, no matter how much good the diet plan is, it will not work. So your mental work needs to be really, really taken care of. Now, every after every meal, walking is advisable. It helps in digestion, it helps in controlling sugar, it helps in maintaining weight, it helps in maintaining our blood pressure. But many a times we, are in a work setup where it's very cluttered. It's not easy to walk around the workspace. What you can do is do calf raises at your desk. Calf is you stand straight at your desk and you just lift your heels. You stay there for 2 seconds and then again release. So these are calf raises. Even 20 at desk, if you do, it would be half as good as walking. So at least we can start with that. Switch off the TV, mobile screen while eating. We all are guilty. The TV is on and we're like, let's have the meal. Or we have the mobile in front and we're eating. Well, this might be very common these days. However, it is the most harmful thing that you can do to yourself. Eating while watching the screen. Believe me or not, internally, your digestion is hampered. The way the food is absorbed in the body is hampered. Whether that food is really going to help you or not, the absorption of the key nutrients will happen or not, depend if you're watching that screen or you're not watching that screen. So you need to switch off the TV and mobile screen while eating. These are some very small habits, and we take one habit at a time, as I told you, and go forward with it. So, what you need to do is you need to anchor the habits to your daily routine. For example, while setting your alarm, practice the double breaths. So, every day we take the mobile and set an alarm to wake up the next morning. At that time only, you practice the double breaths. So that every day consciously, if you're going to remind yourself I have to do this habit is going to be in your subconscious mind forever. And whenever at night you're setting the alarm, you're going to practice the double breaths and then go to bed. If you know what is the your regular bedtime, like around 10 p.m., 9 p.m., whatever it is, set a reminder for that also. And you can practice the double breaths then. Because see, I might say things, but things might not stay with you and you might forget. So therefore, you need to build habits that are so much in sync with your routine that your routine reminds you of doing that habit. Set a reminder 20 minutes post lunchtime to do the calf raises. So you need to set a lunch time also. We today, these days, we are so busy with our work. We're like, no, time hi nahi mila aaj to lunch karne ka. This is not an excuse. At the end, we all are working hard. We are excelling in our profession to lead a life that we dream of, to have a certain lifestyle. But imagine if you do not have enough health with you, your health is deteriorating. What will you do of the success and what will you do of the lifestyle? So, maintaining your lifestyle, you will also need to take care of your health. So prioritize your lunch timing and also set a reminder 20 minutes post lunchtime every day that you have to do the calf raises. Sit with a family member for your meal and discuss the meal. So at work, maybe you can sit with a coworker and have your meal. At home, in dinner time, let's make a rule. Everybody's going to have dinner together. Or if not together, at least with one person. Discuss your meal and then eat it so that you do not feel the need of your phone. Because earlier, I mean, our I think grandfathers, they did not have a screen right at the tip of their fingers. So they discussed, they spoke, and they relished their meals, and that is why their health is much better than what ours is. So focus on behavior and not just the scale. Even if you're on a regime, do not fixate yourself that itna inch lose nahi hua, itna kgs lose nahi hua. You have to look for improvement beyond numbers and beyond measurements. And what would that be? Improvement in the can be in the form of able to sleep earlier than usual time. If you are going to work on your dinner plate, if you're going to work on your dinner time, if you're going to omit your screen time, you're definitely going to fall asleep earlier than what you would usually sleep at. Feeling of lightness in the body. So many of us complain of constant bloating, burping, and other gastric issues, acidity, frequent acidity. Even if you don't lose 500 grams, that is, to be lost in this week. But if you're feeling light in your body, that in itself is a big, big achievement. Better energy levels right through the evening. After lunch we all complain of, oh my god, being so sleepy, lethargic, etc. But if you work on your habits, if you eat the right kind of foods, you're definitely going to have better habits right through the day, even in the evening. Better digestion and bowel movements, as I said, your improvement in your gut health is a very, very, very important sign that you're doing something right in your routine. Progress matters rather than perfection. For example, I aimed to lose 5 kgs, but I lost 3 kgs. But at the end, I lost 3 kgs because internally we do not know that out of those 5 kgs that we lost, whether it was muscle, whether it was fat, whether the 3 kgs I've lost, it's only the fat that I've lost and 2 kgs muscles I've gained. So there's a lot of science behind the numbers also. So do not, you know, kill yourself for not losing the amount of weight you desire to lose by the end of the month, but you just maintain the fact that okay, you're progressing somewhere, you're heading somewhere, if not that much, at least this much. Okay, but the graph should go up. It's not like you had to lose 5 kg and you gained 2 kgs, so that means the graph is going down. So progress matters. Aimed to reduce 6 inches from my waist, I lost only 2 inches from my waist, but overall I have lost 8 inches. That is great progress, because there is nothing called a spot reduction. We all say, na, this is my problem area, maybe the lower body, maybe the abdomen, etc. But there is nothing going to be like spot reduction. Even if you're doing 150 sit-ups, abs, crunches every day, it's not like you're going to lose 10 inches only from the waist. You're going to lose overall, because you're going to have a certain proportion of your body. Now, as Steffi was stating about the 80-20 rule, what is that? So, what you need to do is, as I told you, you have a coffee meet with a friend and you say, no, I'm not going to go. Why you're not going to go? Please go. Because in the 7 days of the week, for 6 days, you were a very obedient, disciplined person. You were eating the correct foods, everything. So, you go and enjoy that meal, but of course do not go all out and you're going to wash off all the efforts of the week. You're going to be very mindful what you're going to eat there. You're going to enjoy the meal also, but you need to know how to find a midway and balance. So 80% of the time you balance and you have nourished meals. 20% of the time you enjoy without guilt. Without guilt is the key word here. Even if you're going to not not indulge, and you're going to restrict yourself, your mind frame will always think that, oh my god, I did not eat that, others were eating that, others were eating that. So you're constantly in your mind in a dilemma, and that is not a very positive mindset. So even if the nourished meal that you had will not have the as good effect in on your body, so might as well, if you want to enjoy a scoop of ice cream, maybe for that occasion you enjoy that scoop of ice cream, but make sure you get back on track the next day. It should not be a vicious cycle that that ice cream turns into next day a pizza, that pizza next day turns into a Chinese, Chinese next day turns into let's skip the workout. No, you're going to take each day as it comes. You're going to be mindful every time, and you're going to enjoy. So when once you build habits, once you know the correct proportions for yourself, you're definitely going to enjoy the meals without guilt. No food is completely off limits. We always say balance, moderation. No, no, or no bad, no good food. No. Prevents binge and restrict cycles. So you do not binge because you know that this is not something a complete no. This is something a portion control. So you will definitely not make that mistake of binge eating. Makes healthy eating sustainable and social. So the 80-20 rule will always help you to socialize also, enjoy your life also, relish your meals also, while slowly, steadily you achieve your goal. What eating well 80% of the time looks like: protein at every meal. So what are the protein sources? Eggs, chicken, fish, curd, paneer, dals, nuts, beans, green leafy vegetables. In every meal, either of these sources have to be there, and that is how you're going to balance it. Fiber rich vegetables and fruits should be a part of everyday meals. Fruits to be a part of your snacks, Preferably, you do not juice them out, and of course, do not buy those Tetra packs. Include a variety of fruits. Include 2 to 3 servings of fruits daily. But as we said, we can start with one fruit a day in our snacks. Quality carbohydrates for energy. As I said, carbs are not bad. Rotis, salads, porridges. Choose roots like sweet potato, beets, carrot, radish. You can go for millets. You can go for rolled oats. All of these are carbs, but they're extremely great. And you're adding protein in every meal. You're adding the veggies in every meal. So why will the carbs make you fat? You're eating the correct things. Healthy fats for satiety and hormones. As I said, fats are not that bad. So make nuts a part of your breakfast and snacks. So top fruits with seeds. Make dried chutneys as accompaniments using seeds and condiments like garlic. So as far as I know, I when I worked, I had Maharashtrian colleagues a lot, and they have beautiful dried chutney preparations from Niger seeds, from flax seeds, etc., etc., and with garlic. So they taste so amazing, and they also are very very healthy. Having regular meals to avoid overeating. So eat following your circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is basically once you wake up till you go back to sleep, there is a cycle that your body follows, and you need to eat accordingly. As we said, eat your breakfast like a king and your dinner like a pauper. So that is how it works, that you have to eat according to what your body is demanding, what your biological clock is demanding. Follow similar meal timings, gap meals from bedtime. As in, you have to gap your meals from your bedtime. You, as I said, you can be eating post 8 p.m., but at least you should be eating 2 hours prior to your bedtime. So, eating well anywhere. What works whether you're at home, in the office, or ordering in. Build meals so you can, follow a plan anywhere and everywhere. Just a few rules that you need to follow. Build meals around protein first. Balance your plate with, as I said, protein, fiber, carbs, fats. Don't skip meals. Plan ahead instead. Okay, fine. I'm going to have this dinner with my colleagues or friends tonight. So, how do I balance my breakfast and lunch? How I can keep them lighter, but no skipping the meals. Don't skip meals, plan ahead. Watch portions, not just food choices. Hydration matters more than you think. So we tried to underplay our water intake. However, water is the most important nutrient. So as I said, whatever is your intake, half liter more from the previous one today. Enjoy treats mindfully without guilt. So you follow the 80-20 rule, you socialize well enough, and therefore you can definitely enjoy your treats without guilt. Focus on consistency over the week and not perfection in every meal. What you can do throughout the week, major time of the day, rather than perfecting every meal, and if that perfect meal is not happening, I'm not doing anything. Don't look for perfection, just go with the flow. What sustainable weight loss looks like: slow steady fat loss. Plateaus are normal. If you've lost 5 kgs for a couple of days, or even 1 or 2 months, you might be a certain weight, because the thing is, the earlier weight loss is most easy, like it you lose water first, and then when it comes to the fat, there is displacement happening in the body. So that is the time you have to also look at inch loss. Focus beyond the scale, better energy and digestion, and fewer cravings and better mood. So let's have this myth, fact, or sugar shock. I think y'all can put your this thing answers on your chat, and I can see that. So myth, fact, or sugar shock: which has more sugar, flavored yogurt or chocolate bar? I think we've done that. Then flavored yogurt, as I told you, often marketed as healthy, can contain hidden added sugars. Always read labels. Brown sugar is healthier than white sugar. Myth or fact? Myth. Both impact blood sugar similarly. Minimal nutritional difference. Moderation matters more. Again, packet fruit juice lacks fiber, sugar concentration high, not the same as whole fruit. Again, This is why after total intake matters more than timing. Late eating often reflects poor planning. Consistency over the day is more important. So, as I said, some granola bars can also have high sugar content. Eating fats make you fat? No, fat is essential for hormones and satiety. Excess calories cause weight gain. So yeah, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. And if you wish to connect with me, these are my details. You can take a note of it. I've also put in my Instagram and LinkedIn ID, my email address, and my phone number. If at all you have any queries, and now I can take any question and answers if there are any.
So, Ifsha, I can see a lot of questions on the
Okay.
chat section.
Okay.
Uh, okay, let's take one by one.
Yeah, sure.
We need some healthy diet plans since I'm a vegetarian. Okay, that doesn't look like a question, it looks like a diet plan. So, Prana, if you're looking out for some healthy diet plans from Ifsha, she has already shared her number on the screen. Probably you can just go back to the screen, Ifsha. You can note down the number and her email address and probably, get in touch with her for the healthy diet plan. Any food recommendations to overcome the frequent thirstiness during night sleep, which made you awake frequently? I'm not diabetic.
So you feel thirsty in the night, right? That is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what you can start with is having a glass of soaked water with sabza, 1 teaspoon in a glass of water, and drink that last thing while you go to bed. So sabza is soothing, hydrating, so might not cause that urge of drinking water. And maybe also you're not drinking enough water through the day, and at the night the body is craving for that. So spread out the water intake throughout the day would be better.
Great. Are paneer and sugarcane juice good for someone who is pre-diabetic?
Sugarcane juice, no. Paneer, yes. In portion control with a combination of vegetables and fiber, why not?
Okay. What do you suggest for people having a sedentary lifestyle? I'm sure many of us have this sitting job for it is usually 8 hours, but we end up sitting more than 12 hours, 10 hours. What diet and physical activity they should do to lose weight?
So what I believe is that even the sedentary workers do have some 1 day off or a comp of whatever you'll get in a week. So you need to be physically active at that time. As I said, you don't fixate yourself on removing 1 hour every day if you have a job that is so demanding. You fixate on removing 10 minutes every day, which I believe every one of us can do the calf raises or the walk post meals. And this is how we try and put in your physical activity in bits and pieces for someone who cannot remove it for a straight 1 hour or 45 minutes in the day. And as for the diet plan, Steffi, I think the answer would be to get in touch, because diet plans are highly specific, customized, and as I already spoke in my presentation, it cannot be a general thumb rule.
Great. Is there any specific diet or required to reduce double chin and excess fat on the cheek?
No, so there is no as such diet or anything of that sort for reducing your spot reduction. As I told you, you have to be on a plan which is constantly calorie deficit. However, if there is a lot of bloating and edema on the face, there can be some concoctions that can be made, but specifically to reduce fat from the face, you need to have a calorie deficit and a workout plan in place.
Okay, so this particular consumer has taken the feedback which you had given. Skipping meal is bad. It's
Yeah.
repeated. How
Yeah.
can intermittent fasting be healthy?
So intermittent fasting again is not a general thumb rule for everybody. For many of my clients, intermittent fasting doesn't work, and for many of them, it works. So how intermittent fasting works is that it is a research-based diet, wherein for at least 16 hours you fast and you do not eat anything. So you're resting out your gut, and that is when the body is using its general stores to do all the basic activities, like beating of the heart, breathing, etc. And that is how you're going in a calorie deficit while not eating. However, there are some people who require to eat every 3 hours, and intermittent fasting doesn't work. So the basic principle of intermittent fasting is when you fast, your body is using its own reserve to do the basic needs, and that is how it is going in a calorie deficit. But again, it cannot be used for all, and it doesn't even work for all.
Great. Can you please tell me some insights on intermittent fasting? This is continuation to that question. How can we practice it? Can we drink water during the intermittent fasting? During the intermittent fasting, can we skip breakfast? Is the question.
Okay, so intermittent fasting is, as I said, fasting for a window of 16 hours. You can do an overnight fast wherein you eat your dinner early and then you can have the breakfast later from the usual time. So you fulfill the timing of 16 hours. You can do a dry fast wherein you do not eat or drink even water. You can do a wet fast wherein you can drink water. Again, I would say you have to follow it under expert guidance. I know of people who do intermittent fast who have done 19, 20 hours also. However, it really didn't work for them. And there are people who also do 24 hours fast once a week or once in a month. Then there are people who do intermittent fasting for 16 and 8 hour window. Like in 8 hours they eat, but the 16 hours they fast. And this can be like a overnight fast, or it can be a day fast also. Like you eat your breakfast and then you directly, eat the last meal of your day. So that depends on what works for you.
Okay. The next question is, how do you calculate the calorie intake and how do we calculate the carbs, protein in a meal?
Oh, that has a lot of calculations, that has a lot of formulas that usually dietitians learn through their course of studies, and that is how we do it. So usually we say that for protein, for example, as that's the easiest formula that we apply, that whatever weight you are, 1 gram per kg body weight if you consume, that is the optimal amount of protein. But again, it can be zero point 0.9 also, it can be zero point 0.8 grams also per kg body weight. And also if you're someone who's doing a lot of weight training in terms of lifting weights, then you can go above 1 gram also. So that is for protein. However, for your total caloric intake, for your total fat, carbohydrate, there's a lot of back calculation that we have to do.
What is the most effective thing in losing weight, exercise, or dieting? Please just mention in percentage, like 40% exercise, 60, like how you said, mentioned
80%
it.
diet, 20% exercise.
Great. What type of food a person who does a marathon of 5 to 10-kilometer run should be taking? Age is 45 years.
What type of what?
What type of food?
Okay.
So a person who runs a marathon for about 5 to 10-kilometer, the person is asking what type of food that person should be taking if the age is around 45 years.
So, in the maintenance phase, wherein there is no marathon season, the person can have a fairly calculated diet plan as per his body weight and requirements. But pre-event, there should be carbohydrate sources. So, 3 days before the event, carbohydrates should be, given out in calculation. There is something called as carbohydrate loading. The reason is because when you go for marathons, this is endurance based activity, right? So for endurance, require your carbs and you require your fat stores to be in place. So therefore a fairly good amount of carbohydrate, and also the pre-event meal is also very important, which would have a good amount of carbohydrates, some amount of protein, and fats. So this it will actually be a build up for a week when actually you're going to run the marathon. And replenishing yourself with electrolytes throughout the run is an utmost.
Okay, so we'll be taking few more questions and then we'll be concluding because it's already 5.
Right.
There's a question on cholesterol. So, is it recommended to change oils every month for cholesterol reduction?
Yeah, so ideally what you should be doing is you should be having a variety of oils. For example, maybe this month I cook, or even meals you can do that. You can bring two kinds of oil, like rice bran oil, or you can bring a mustard oil. And then today lunch was prepared in rice bran, then the dinner can be prepared in some other oil, or there are blends of oil that also available. So yeah, it is recommended not to be using one particular kind of oil for a very long time. You use combinations of oils.
Okay, good to take. Is it good to take 6 eggs in a day? And can we take yoga bar?
So again, now yoga bar that you're telling me, which brand, what is the content, what flavor, what is the added sugar, all the labeling, label reading you have to do. Now, 6 eggs a day. Are you someone who's lifting like 10, 15 kgs on the upper body, or at least in the lower body, and working out for at least 4 to 5 days a week? Then I might consider 6 eggs, depending upon total protein intake kya hai. Because if you're going to overload yourself with protein, you're not going to utilize the excess protein, but you're going to create undue pressure on your kidneys to excrete that protein.
Okay, someone is asking how many liters of water is ideally required for a person.
So there is no ideal requirement. See, we've been told that 2 liters is ideal, but for example, now supposedly someone who's hitting the gym for 5 days a week and doing an 1.5 hour workout at the gym, they're sweating it out that much. So 2 liters. So I think during the gym only 1.5 liters would go. So for that person, 3.5 liters will be there. So you have to understand how much are you sweating, how much are you commuting, and then accordingly gauge. Bare minimum is 2 liters, but you can definitely go above that. However, I can tell you what is minimum. 1 liter is very less.
Will black coffee help keep brain active and energetic?
Yeah, so there are, for caffeine also, there are metabolizers, fast metabolizers and slow metabolizers. Fast metabolizers are people like who can drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee, and they might not feel that, they might feel that kick within the first cup only. But there are slow metabolizers, that means even in that 1 or 2 3 cups also, they might not feel that kick in the body. So what I would say is that caffeine works for some, doesn't work for some, but however, as a supplement also, and for this headache or feeling energized, at least 2 cups of coffee, black coffee without sugar, can be had.
I drink lukewarm water in the morning, but I can't add honey or lemon, not honey, sorry, honey. Is there anything else that can be added to help with weight reduction?
So one thing is to be taken note of, that anything you are adding in that warm water standalone will not help you lose weight. Okay. So what I can give you an option is, of course, you should not be adding the honey or the lemon in that warm water. 1 teaspoon of flaxseed powder, unroasted, you can definitely put in that glass of water. However, that is not going to be the only decisive factor for your weight loss, unless and until you do everything other things right.
Right, so one last question we'll take today. Um, I'm diabetic. 15 days ago, I got to know. Person is already taking medicine. Can I be on fast full day because of Ramzan, which is coming up? I will need to ask this my doctor as well in the coming days. But he's taking your opinion as well.
No, so I cannot be giving a blind opinion here unless and until I know this person's levels, his history, and everything. I would not be able to comment on this.
Okay. Okay, there's one more consumer who is asking. I think he asked a question long back, so I'm just searching the question. Azad, if you can hear me, can you put that question again? What we should do to build lean muscle to tone body?
Lean muscles, if you want to build, you have to do strength training with a proper structure of upper body, lower body, push day, pull day. You need to have bare minimum of 1 gram to 1.2 gram per kg body weight of good quality protein. Even if you're a vegetarian, you can definitely achieve that with a lot of nuts, dairies, seeds, balancing it out with the correct amount of carbs so that your protein is being utilized.
Okay, the last question for the day. Can we take jaggery in tea instead of sugar?
No, so jaggery again is going to be processed the same way in your body as the sugar is. But if you're someone who's looking to wean yourself out of that sugar content in the beverages, start off by adding lesser jaggery than you would put sugar. But ultimately, you will have to follow the rule of tapering out the jaggery and having it without sugar completely.
Right. So, Ifsha, that was really, really insightful. And I'm sure our audience also got a lot of information from you.
Thank
Um,
you.
in any of you wish to attend the workshop, please do. The details are there already in the chat. If you would want, I can add that again in the chat for reference. So it's happening in Bombay. The good part is it is also happening online. In case you would want to see for any details, please email Ifsha if that's possible. So stay tuned for the next session, upcoming session in the month of Feb. We'll keep you posted what the topic would be like. Thank you, Ifsha, so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Steffi.
Bye.
Bye.